Hello friends, thank you for coming in and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am participating in the Thrift Flip Thursday collaboration. This collaboration is hosted by Joanna's DIY Life and Sabrina's Craft and Nanigans. I am going to have a link in my description box of this playlist. I hope you guys will go and check out all these creators and show them some love and support. So with all that being said, let's begin. Now in this video, I have this wood round and these spindles, and we are going to make something beautiful out of these. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to prep all my spindles, my wood round. I do go ahead and give my wood round a good sanding. And then as far as my spindles, sometimes you'll find little nails in them. You just want to pull all that out. And I just like to grab a pair of pliers to do so. Now, my spindles are not the same size. I do not want them the same length. So this is versatile with any spindles really and truly that you have on hand. Now, some of my spindles have this little spot here where they were pulled out of a chair, which is, yes, where I found these. We found a couple chairs in the dumpster, so we went dumpster diving. But I am going to do my best to trim this out. I want to get it as flat as I possibly can. I don't want a big bulge right there on the side of these spindles. So ultimately what I end up doing is I just kind of get out the best that I can using a multiple of tools. I use my small pliers, I use some tin snips, I use some little bitty pliers. I tell you, whatever works, right? So anywho, all right, so once I get done playing around with the two, I've got some wood filler, and I'm just going to take this wood filler and I'm going to squeeze it into those holes. And using my fingers, I just kind of smooth it out. Now I do end up applying 2 layers of this wood filler. Now I also noticed I had a little bit of a crack along one side of them, so I'm just going to use that wood filler and I'm just going to fill in the cracks. And then I'm going to set that aside to dry. And once that is dried and I've got my second layer in there, I'm just going to sand it all down, just getting it as smooth as I possibly can. Now I'm okay. This is not going to be a perfect repair, okay? These are spindles. This is going to be a rustic looking project, so I'm not looking for perfection. I just didn't want a big knob sticking out the side of a couple of my spindles. So I am going to grab 3 colors of DIY paint. I am going to be using vintage linen, and I'll be using the vintage linen on the wood round and 3 of the spindles. I am going to use a mint chip on 2 of the spindles and then Farm Fresh on 3 of the spindles. Now I am not going to give this a full coverage. I'm going to be using a chippy brush, and I am just going to paint on as you see here. I don't want full coverage. I want it to look like it has aged over the years, and that's exactly the look that I achieve by doing it this way. And then I'm going to use the same brush. Of course, I do clean in between paints. These are water-based paints, so that brush cleans off very easily, and it's okay if your brush is a little damp afterwards, but I'm just going to brush those on. Now I have 2 sizes of eye hooks. I've got 4 larger ones, and then I'm going to be using 8 of the smaller ones, and I am uncertain of the size, so you're just going to kind of have to wing this one on your own. But I am going to paint those black. I am using my Heirloom Traditions all-in-one paint in the color Iron Gate. I absolutely love this paint. It is made for indoor and outdoor use. So I'm just going to paint those all up and leave them to dry. So I ended up using in this 2 of these plant holders that you can get at the Dollar Tree. They should have them out about this time of year, but I need to shorten these up. And in order to do so, you are going to need some pliers. You just pull the chain apart and then slip off the excess. Easy peasy. Make sure that whatever you loosen, you end up tightening when you're finished with this part of the project. I hope that makes sense. But this is all you do. You just use those pliers, make a gap, slide the excess chains off, and I end up having 12 chains for each strand. So with all the excess chains that I had removed from these 3 strands, I can create and add a 4th strand, and you just pretty much repeat that process of loosening up the chain that you need to slide over something, and then again, make sure you tighten that back up. Now you are going to have to rob one of these lanyards out of another package if you have, or if you have some lanyards laying around, you can use those in replace of what they came with. But I am going to go ahead and rob one of the other packs of a lanyard and add that to my 4th strand. And then this part is complete. I did also seal my spindles and my wood round all with the clear liquid patina. I chose that one because it's good for indoor and outdoor use. But I want to add some pilot holes to my wood round to make it easier to screw in the eye hooks that we painted. And I'm just using this square as a guide, really. So I know that I came down the thickness of this square and I can reverse it to the bottom, and how far I came from the top and bottom will be the same. And then I just measure in about 1¼ inch, and that's where I'm going to drill my pilot holes. Now this project is a little tricky for me to explain, so if anybody ever has any questions, leave the questions in the comment section down below, or you can always send me an email, which is always located in my description box. Now I'm going to grab my little handheld drill. My husband actually got me this for Christmas. It's a lighter than what I usually use. I'm going to tell you, I prefer my other one for larger projects, but for smaller projects, for screwing in things and for small little holes to drill, this might be okay. I don't know that I'll ever use it again to make pilot holes because these little bits don't want to stay in, but I'm going to use it and I'm going to drill my pilot holes. And then this way it will just make it easier to get those screws started, but I'm going to wait on that for the moment. Now, once I got the 4 holes for the top side done, I'm just going to flip it over and work on where I'm going to be putting the holes on the bottom side. Now, remember, we do have 8 hooks, and I'm going to start in the middle, and then I'm going to take the other spindles and then just kind of place them around the middle one. Now, I end up going in about 1½ inches from the outer edge where I place my spindles. I wish I would have gone in a little bit closer to that center one, because I guess you guys maybe have figured it out. This is supposed to be a wind chime light catcher, but it ends up really just being a light catcher because my spindles are a little too far apart. So I would definitely suggest going a little bit closer. That way when the wind picks them up and it clacks them and it blows them around, they'll clack off that middle one. Or you can put something wider in the center so they will make contact. But I'm just using that ruler. I'm measuring, like I said, I went 1½ inches in. This was a process because my spindles kept wanting to fall over, but that's okay. I worked through it. And then I will most definitely check twice, cut once, so to say. In this case, it's going to be drill once, but I always double check my spacings to make sure that I've got it correct, because more times than none, I have made a little mistake. Then I just use that ruler as a guideline. I just put it to where I know this is going to be center of the spindle, and just make a mark with my pencil. That way I know where to drill my pilot holes. And then when I drill my pilot hole, I always start in the center, and I'll go ahead and hand tighten down the one. I don't know, it just works as a good visual for me, but you do you. And then I do go around my little dots on my pencils to make sure they're not like a tremendous amount of distance away from each other versus the other one. You know, I want them to kind of be equal distance. So then I'm just going to drill all my holes and then screw in all my hooks. Now, if you guys are anything like me, I can only get these down hand tight. I can't apply too much force to get these twisted all the way in. So I'm going to show you a little trick. If you don't know it, you could always grab a screwdriver, a small screwdriver or something. I'm just going to use this little pick and just put it in the hole and then start churning it, and it will move your eye screws. You can also do this with the little cup hooks, but it'll just keep churning them until you've got them all the way tightened down. Okay, and then each spindle, I'm just going to take about 1.25 inches down on each of them and just drill a hole. And this is when I realized that this little light drill is not the best fit for this kind of project, because I ended up breaking one of these drill bits inside. It's okay. So I grabbed my other drill and drilled all my pilot holes through all of these spindles. Now it's time to grab some fishing line. And I am using a 25-pound fishing line. Now this is going to be tricky. I had to watch a video on how to tie one of these knots, and I'm going to leave the link to the video I watched in my description box so you can watch him explain it a lot better than me. But the gist of it is you're just going to strand your fishing line through the holes you created in your spindles. Then you're going to make sure you have them even and run them through your eye hook. And then you're going to pinch at the closest spot. It's actually 4 lines, but you're going to pinch those together, okay, so they're not moving around. And then you're going to form like a 6, and in your perspective right now it's an upside down 6, but as I'm looking at it, it looks like a 6. And then you're going to grab with your thumb and just hold that in place as well, and then you're going to grab that tail and start twisting it in through that loop you just made right in the center, and you're going to twist it. I twisted mine about 3 times because I'm using such a heavy weighted fishing line. If you're using something lighter weight, you will have to wrap more. The video I link will explain that if you decide to recreate this piece. Now you can also use nylon that you pick up from the hobby store, but I just thought that, you know, fishing line is good when you go fishing, so it should hold up, right? Now once you get all those wrapped in there and you pull on it a little, you're gonna have to wet it with, they say it's the saliva, with your saliva. So I did that, but you know, this is clean. I just opened it, so I'm good to go. If you don't want to do that, maybe just, you know, put a little water between your fingertips and run it around where you just created that knot and that line. And then you're just going to pull it just like so. And it's going to tighten that up to your hook. You're going to trim off that excess line. And that's all there is to it. This is what they'll start looking like, and that's with 3 of them. So I'm going to add the other ones. Then I'm going to grab some of these little crystals that I picked up off of Amazon. I'll have those linked in the description box as well. And I'm just going to grab another of these eye hooks. I'm not even going to paint them because the little rings that are on these crystals are silver, and I don't want to paint all those. So I'm just going to keep them silver so it just kind of meshes or so it kind of blends. But I am going to drill my pilot holes at the tips of my spindles so I can screw my eye hooks into position, and we're just going to screw those all the way in. Use my little tool here to tighten it down. And then here are one of those little chandelier crystals, and these are glass, which I definitely prefer over the plastic. I just think they attract light better. But I'm going to do that to all of them. And then we're going to go back to the top side. We're going to clip on our chains. And then this project is ready. And I know it's just one project, but there was a lot involved. And I haven't been feeling too great this week. Hopefully I can get a video out for next week. If not, I might have to skip a week. But you guys, make sure, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also, go check out the playlist of the Thrifted Thursday collaboration. And here is the finale. And you all will have to let me know, what do you think about this project? Will you be giving it a try? And it's also going to be up for sale in my March 27th Whatnot show. I am participating this month again in the Zero to Hero competition. So come and check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, your support would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.